Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new fun and colorful idea to add a pop of rainbow to your next project, especially memory keeping layout. Hi there and welcome to a new episode of Inspired by a Card with Natalie. Today we're gonna look at how to add a pop of rainbow to your next memory keeping layout using inspiration from Aram. I love her cards, actually from one is posted on the blog, and I love the technique that she used and the colors that she used. So I'm gonna borrow some of her techniques to create a layout for my personal journal. So first thing I'm gonna do, I have a piece of Nina cardstock, it's 110 pounds, and I pulled 3 stamp sets to use to create the leaves. I am using the Craft Your Life Project Kit Garden Rose. I am also using one of the little stamps from the True Friends stamp set, and I'm also going to use the Rosy Blooms outline stamp set. There's a small little leaf there that I want to use to add movement to my page. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to heat emboss with pure white embossing powder from Altenew onto the cardstock, and I'm going to try to make sure that I bundle the leaves. Sorry, what I mean by that is I want to make sure that I have the same color, I'm using 3 leaves from the Crafty Life Project Life, one from True Friends and one from Rosy Blooms. I want to make sure that they're within the vicinity of each other, so kind of next to each other, so when I add the color I can create kind of a grouping of the same color. So I'm gonna take my time, and like I said, I'm heat embossing this. I'm gonna go like a little bit at a time to make sure that everything is rightly in place. So once I do that and I completely filled my page with leaves, I wasn't too sure how much I wanted to add onto my project, so I want to make sure that I created extra just in case. Once I have all of them ready, then I'm gonna come back and start adding color. And I saw Aram's, and I love the fact that she used very saturated colors for her layout. I am gonna go with something a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more the word is vibrant, a little bit more vivid in this case. Arams are really saturated, mine are going to be vivid, so that's going to give me a touch of rainbow, and I wanted to make sure that I touch every single color of the rainbow for my layout. It's not going to be a rainbow formation, but every color is going to be represented. So like I said, everything is embossed, and I'm going to start adding my ink, and this is going to be very simple ink blending. I am going to start with some mango smoothie, so just so you have an idea of the colors that I'm using, and literally I'm using one of my mini ink blending tools just to add the color, and I'm just going to go in spotty places. So think about it, I'm hitting with the yellow just little parts of leaves, not all of them, just certain areas, and then I'm going to start bringing another color. I'm using coral berry to bring some of that kind of orangey red onto my page, and I'm gonna make sure that I add this to some of the leaves close to the yellow, so when the colors mix it gives me orange. And then you're gonna see that I'm actually going to go into different colors, and I'm gonna follow the same technique. I am gonna use Persian blue, Volcano Lake, Aqualicious, Parrot, Lavender Fields, and Deep Iris. So if you see, I have all the colors of the rainbow represented in this page. And literally what I'm doing is, it's not gonna look pretty, it's gonna look really spotty, it's gonna look like little splotches of color on my page. And the only thing that I was careful was to make sure that I follow a little bit of color theory when I was adding my colors. With that I mean that I wanted to make sure that red, yellow, and blue didn't mix in one single leaf, because then I'm gonna create brown. So I want to make sure that I separated the colors a little bit so that I get those nice, go from the primary colors yellow, red, and blue to something a secondary, and then I added those little hints of teal and purple. And you're gonna see right now it looks like quite a messy and spotty, but once I use the coordinating dyes, then I have these beautiful leaves that actually have this variation of colors. So I have my pictures just like Aram. She has like the sentiment that she added on her card is like black and white. I'm gonna use my pictures in black and white. Now remember, I am using the idea to create a layout for my family journal. This journal measures 10 inches wide by 8 1/4 in height, so I need to give it a little bit more interest to the background. So I'm using the grid stencil and a little bit of jet black ink to create a little bit of the background. And what I want to do is just want to add some of the ink. You're gonna see that I'm using my small ink blending tool. I'm just picking up some of the ink and going on a circular motion on the stencil, and I just want to cover the edges, the right and left edge of my paper, and just kind of have this broken grid idea. So I just want a little bit more of that black pop on my page. Now, one of the things that I do love about Eram's card is that she added some pops of black ink. So I'm doing the same by just sprinkling a little bit of the ink spray from Altenew just around the area where I added my grid. Now that I have everything ready, it's just a matter of putting everything together. I have 3 pictures of my mom and my daughter actually pillow fighting, so I'm going to put them in a row. I want to make sure that they go in a horizontal row, having 2 on the right and 1 on the left. Then I am going to use, to create my titles, I'm using die cuts from the Live Your Dream collection, just because I wanted that, you know, that nice color, especially because the leaves, sorry, that are gonna sit in that area. You're gonna see that I'm gonna go with the warm tones. I'm gonna choose tones that have yellow and pink, a little bit of that, you know, when the pink touches the purple, you have the fuchsia tone. So I want to stay within the warm tones to the top of the page. You're gonna see that I'm just creating, think of it just of a frame, giving a soft movement, and that's what I use different leaves, so that I can create a soft movement that can kind of hug my picture. That's the best way to say it. So like I said, I'm going with like yellows and orange and pinks and a little bit of purple on the top of the page. Now on the bottom, underneath the title, I'm gonna go with something that brings some of the yellow from the top and it starts going into the green. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna use, again, some of those leaves that are really defined from the Craft Your Life project garden rose. I'm going to add a little bit of the True Friends stamped images, and then I'm going to add it with a little bit of the Rosy bloom. Some of the leaves are going to sit outside of the page, and that's okay. I'm just going to trim the excess. Now on the other side of the page, I already have 2 photos, and when I looked at Eram's card, she had like a soft diagonal design. So I'm going to try to build the same thing, but in this case I'm going to go with the tones of blue, kind of a little bit of a purple and a little bit of that teal tone. So think of it, the cool tones of the rainbow, just because I'm in a totally different side of the page. So just to make sure that I bring some of the yellow from the other side, kind of warm it out, I'm going to bring just a small little hint of one of my leaves that had the yellow and green and blue tones, just to mirror the 2 sides together. And then just to finish my layout, I am actually going to use the stamp set from the True Friends. There's a lot of hashtags in it that says besties, forever, friendship. So I'm going to just stamp it like 1st, 2nd and 3rd generation right next to the title, on top of the picture, and at the bottom of the of the right page, because I'm gonna add my lines of journal at the bottom of the leaves. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. I love Eram's inspiration. I love the card. I think it's colorful. I think it's saturated. I went with a similar idea. Like I said, my leaves are not as saturated, but they are super vibrant, and I love how this turned out. There's a great way to add a rainbow to your pages without actually having a rainbow. Just have that pop of color, just making your memories extra special. As always, you can find all the details of this on the blog, and remember, you can subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you so much.
Hello crafters, Jen here. For more tips, techniques, tutorials, and to discover which paper crafting products are right for you, subscribe to Altenew's YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Thanks for watching.